Hello, everyone. I am Adam, and thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. I'm really excited about this week. I'm excited every week, to be honest, but this one is really, really special. We have an announcement that I just can't wait to finally reveal to the world. But let's look at today's lineup. As always, latest updates. So we will talk about all of the enormous happenings with Pathfinder Nexus for a little while today. We've got Lost Omens content out. We have a lot of great work going on with our primers. So give that update. What is upcoming on the Pathfinder Nexus Early Access roadmap? And then I am joined by a very special guest a little bit later in the stream, Deborah Ann Wall, and we have an announcement to share with you all. So let's get to it. Oh, and if you have questions for me, at any point during the stream, you can type this into chat. Just preface it with the word question, and we have a magical bot. It's a robot. We need to name our robot because I feel like the robot has its feelings hurt that it doesn't have a name. But the question bot is going to grab those questions and collect them for me at the end. So feel free to ask all the questions that you want during the stream, and we'll get to whatever I have time for at the end. So latest updates. Pathfinder Nexus Phase 2 of Early Access, we were able to release all of the Lost Omens setting content last week. And so we have all 10 of the currently released books available for pre-order in Early Access. We really love how these books have come together in the digital reader. So check those out, pre-order them today. Get that early access. Let us know if you find anything that we need feedback on. We can look at the forums. So head out to the forums and post anything, any inconsistencies that you find or anything else to help us get ready for launch. But these are beautiful books, and they really look beautiful inside the digital reader. Give them a look. And this means that we are caught up with Lost Omens. And when the next Lost Omens book comes out, which I believe is Knights of Lastwall, we are going to be able to have it available day and date. So as soon as that book is available everywhere, it will also be available on Pathfinder Nexus. Very exciting for us. And we are working on the game compendium primers. So we currently have spells and items and creatures, backgrounds, feats. I might be forgetting something, but we have all of those things in the game compendium. And very soon, TM, we are going to be introducing the primers, which are going to have some of the meatier game mechanics available in the game compendium, including classes, ancestries, and archetypes. And those are starting to come together really great. We are in the middle of our QA part of the process right now and making sure everything looks nice and polished up and ready for release. So coming very soon, we'll have more updates on that in a few days, I feel like. So we'll see how that goes. And then we are starting to work on adventures content. And once we get through the very huge catalog of adventures that are available for Pathfinder, we will be caught up with everything. And we are probably going to have a party once that happens, because the team is working really hard on that. Upcoming. So on the roadmap itself, so if you don't know what my mysterious color coding means, if something is green here, it means that we have that out and available in early access. And if it is the orange or gold or whatever color that would be, that means that it is something that we are actively working on right now, as in, some type of activity is happening for it. So the changes for this week is you see that we are definitely working on Game Compendium Lost Omens content is out now. So that's turned to a green. And then character management is taking on that orange or gold. And that means that we are actually starting a little bit of the design review. The concept phase is coming to a close for that, and we are going to start moving forward with working on it. This one is going to be a beast. So this is the really, really big cornerstone of everything that we're putting together with the initial launch of Pathfinder Nexus. So very exciting times, but definitely we're going to be deep diving into a whole lot of challenges as we bring this together. But we can't wait to get into it. We can't wait to get out on the other side with a really great tool for people to use to be able to create Pathfinder characters, manage, track them. It's going to be very exciting to see. And then finally, I told you last week that we have a new show coming March the 15th, and we are going to talk a little bit more about that now. So, without further ado, let's roll another trailer. Hello, and we are very excited to announce our new show. And I am joined by very special guest, Deborah and Wall. Thank you so much, Deborah, for joining.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thank you. The trailer's amazing. I love it.
It's very excited to see all of this come together. We've been working on it for a few months here now, and I think the first question that I am going to ask to start things out is just like when we were growing up and reading books, and I read a lot, and I read words, and then as I became an adult, I was like, that is not how you say that, and
Yes.
then everybody's like, no, that's actually how you say it. And so let's start out. How do we say the title of the show?
Yes, the old
That's it.
Shamaleon problem. Um, I'm going with Éarte. So Children of Éarte
Yes.
is what I sort of heard and envisioned in my mind. It's totally made up. It doesn't come from any other language or anything. And that's what I hear when I say
Children of Éarte. And
Éarte.
so what is Children of Éarte? Like what is the 30,000 foot view of this? Because you
Right.
can't say too much because I'm playing in this
Yes,
and
I
I
have to
can't
be
wait to
very
play.
careful.
But yeah, what's that 30K view?
I think for me, as I've been running games recently, I've had this realization that in writing campaigns, really the perfect campaign could accommodate players who are, you know, 20 level dragonborn sorcerers all the way to a human commoner. And I love the idea that a human commoner could have just as much ingenuity and excitement and heroism in a story, in a Dungeons and Dragons story, as the more magical classes and ancestries. And so, yeah, it kind of sparked this idea that we are all special, we are all unique, and that we as players, as human commoners who come to the table to play D&D, that we are more than common, right? That is a phrase, and really we are all terrifically, fantastically uncommon and rare even. And that what I wanted to do is kind of highlight that. So we are essentially starting with characters who appear to be human and just like you and me, but of course we will discover that they are much more than that. In fact, they are children of Éarte.
That is so exciting. I remember the first time that we were talking about doing a show, and you you told me something very similar to what you just said right there, and my mind just started racing in so many directions because for me, watching the Saturday morning
Right.
cartoon of D&D of, oh, I can just get on a roller coaster and end up in this other place. And so just the concept of and of course this is just echoed throughout so much literature that I
Yeah.
enjoy. The Chronicles of Narnia.
Mhm.
I love Stardust. Like just that idea that there is an other out there,
Yeah.
and somehow maybe we can touch it
Well,
sometimes,
this
or
idea that the fairy tales of our that, we have fairy tales in our world, but if you were in the fairy tale world, you would be the fairy tale. You would be a child of Éarte.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. All right. And so, with that, we have an incredible cast.
Ugh.
And the word I think that you used yesterday when talking about everything that, band of fascinating human commoners. And so,
Fascinating human commoners.
what are you excited about to work with this cast on?
Well, I mean, anyone who's heard me talk about D&D before, I have this weird quirk, where I really like players more than I like characters. I get really excited about how intelligent and creative players are at the table, and I like the idea that the character is really a vehicle for your brilliance, for what you bring to story, and it helps sort of specify and funnel what you use. But, like, again, if you play my games, a utility spell is always gonna be more useful than, having a good solid rope is always gonna come in more handy, than some of those higher level pieces. So, what I'm excited about is just how game each and every single one of these players have been, to create a fascinating a human commoner, a person who you would pass in the street but who has a little secret, a little something special that they know or that they can do. And I think that'll be part of the fun of this show. And I don't know, we haven't mentioned yet. We'll likely do a session 0 to
Yes,
talk a little bit. Yeah,
episode 0,
episode 0.
and what I love with, the typical session 0, that is where the, players and the game
Mhm.
master are gonna come together and talk about the expectations and align expectations around the
Yes.
game itself, and so, Deborah had this idea of doing an episode 0 where she is able to address you, the audience,
Yeah.
and talk about aligning some expectations about what's going to happen in the show. So we're really excited
Yeah.
about that. It's going to be on March the 8th. So
Mhm.
we are going to debut the first episode on the 15th of March, but on the 8th, we're going to have this episode 0, and we're going to dive a little bit more for an inside look
Yes.
into what to expect with the show.
'Cause yeah, it's a little bit different, we're going a little home brewy, there may be information that viewers are used to having right up front that we're gonna pay out a little bit slower and make the mystery of this adventure, um, be a little bit of these characters discovering who they are rather than right away, "I am a dragonborn sorcerer," they'll have to figure out, "Is that who I am?" And, hopefully the viewers will come along for that ride.
I remember the first time that I saw you run a game, Deborah,
Mhm.
and it included a puzzle.
Of
And
course.
so, yeah, and I remember thinking to myself, I typically don't like playing with puzzles in
Uh-huh.
games, and I think so much of that has been, and I am certainly not. Casting any kind of shade over anyone I've played with in the past, because I'm not sure that I run puzzles incredibly well either. I remember watching it and thinking to myself, "Wow, I think I would like puzzles if I played with Deborah." And so you've got a very high bar to live up to
Oh
here.
boy.
Like,
Oh
do you
boy.
think there are going to be puzzles involved?
I
Maybe.
mean, to be perfectly, transparent, this is the first time I'm running a live week to week campaign for a stream. I've done it at home with friends, but probably that's not every week and things like that. So puzzles do take some time. I don't know that we're going to have a puzzle every week kind of thing, but maybe I'll shoot for once a month or every other month, something like that. I think for me, what makes puzzles fun is when you have all of the information, right? What's not fun is for someone to put something in front of you and for you to go, ugh, I'm too stupid to figure this out. I never ever want players to feel that way. And I don't want characters to feel that way either. Um, so for me, if you can't solve a puzzle yet, it's probably because you haven't found a piece of paper or you haven't found a particular key with a weird shape on it, that really you will anyone and everyone should be able to solve these puzzles, if you continue to look around and search and solve the mystery.
So I've got to think about it, Metroidvanian. It's like I'll have to come back to that because I don't have
Yes.
the key yet.
I don't have the
So
key yet, but
I
I
love it.
can see the color of the lock, and I can see a special little, so I know what I'm looking for. Yeah.
That is outstanding. All right, I'm going to let you go because we're going to let you go on and get on your day. Is there anything you would like to leave the viewers out there with? Just any kind of tease, any kind of thing that you can
Yeah.
reveal before episode 0 on March 8th.
Well, I can certainly say, one thing we want to do is be able to involve everyone at home in some ways, and I would love for you all to be able to play along a little bit with us. So we're going to figure out a couple of ways to be able to share some of these puzzles, share some of this information, and create some safe spaces away from the players where you can maybe do
No
your own
cast allowed.
deductions.
Yeah,
No cast allowed. Yes, a
I love it.
treehouse, a digital treehouse, so to speak.
I love it. The digital treehouse. So
Yeah.
yeah, keep your eyes peeled for information on that digital treehouse as we get closer to the debut of Children of Éarte on March 15th. Deborah, I cannot wait.
Okay.
I am so stoked to see what
Good.
is going to happen with this
No
show.
pressure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will talk to you soon.
Talk to you
Thanks.
soon. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Deborah. We will get back to questions here now. So if you have questions, by all means, you can ask those in chat with the word question in front of it, and then we will get to those as soon as we are able. So here we go. I've got a few coming in here, so feel free to keep asking, and I will continue while I have as much time as I can. So, first of all, Trevco613. Now that Lost Omen books are out, can we get an update on bundles? I can provide an update that might not be incredibly satisfying to you, but I can tell you that updates are absolutely going to happen, and our intent is to have bundles available before we go into the full launch of Pathfinder Nexus. So that's probably not the level of detail that you're looking for there, but I do want to confirm that they will happen. I can confirm what groupings those bundles will be, and they will follow for Pathfinder Nexus. They're going to follow the same kinds of categories that Paizo has followed on Paizo.com when you're buying, electronic versions of those books. And that's going to be, we will have a rule books bundle, we will have a Lost Omens bundle, and we will also have an adventures bundle, and very likely an adventure paths bundle that's maybe like a subset of that. And then finally, we will have an ultimate bundle that has every bit of Pathfinder Nexus content included in that. But outside of the bundle types themselves, I can't give you an ETA on the date that those will be available. But I can tell you that any dollars that you have spent to this point, we do plan to have previously purchased content credit. So anything that has been unlocked as a pre-order here in early access, those dollars that you've spent will be honored as we go forward. So, for instance, if you have picked up, the Lost Omens books at this stage in early access, you will be able to unlock, presumably, Knights of Last Wall is going to come out. I don't know if that's when launch likely will not coincide with that, but it's like whatever that next book would be, then you would get that discount and you would get credit on the Lost Omens bundle for what you've already spent in early access. So more details as soon as we're able to jump into them, but that is what we're looking at for bundles. Burgertron 2000, maybe a soft G, Bergertron 2000. On the character sheet, will it display all the multi-attack penalty next to your weapon? That's definitely the intent. And the intent would be to have that display dynamically update with agile weapons and so on. So the point of the digital character sheet, and we talk about this especially now that we're starting to really dive into our game engine and everything else that's going to power that character sheet. The discussion is really centered around The whole point of the character sheet is to make play as convenient, as easy as possible, and to give players what they need when they need it while they're playing the game. And so, something like the multi-attack penalty, we definitely understand that that is an important piece, and it will be included. All right, so Neurolancer rulebook bundles win. As I said, can't do the win part of that. We've definitely got the what coming together, and we will provide more info as soon as we have it. I've got, it looks like I've got two more questions. So if you have a question, I've got a little more time here that I could answer them. So if you are on the fence about asking it, go ahead and ask it. Otherwise, I'm going to end a little early here, and I'm going to go get back to work because we got a lot on our plates. But the Mike Ballas, are the current plans for more Deborah games in the Cardinal Adventures series? That's something that I'm going to let Deborah address, elsewhere. I believe that she is running. So I think she's completing the set of the four cardinal directions. So if you're out there and you don't know what this is referring to, Deborah has on Demiplane been running a series of paid games where you can come and play with her game mastering, and they are all taking on kind of a theme of the different cardinal directions. So you have north, south, east, west, and it is my understanding that she wants to finish the four cardinal directions. I am not certain of the details on that, but that's something that I'm sure, asking. There is an adventure portal out there that is a lobby on Demiplane, so you can get more info by joining that. Maybe one of our moderators, can pull up that link somehow. I think I've got it somewhere, but we definitely have a lobby that you can go and try to get more information about what's happening with that. But that has had an overwhelming response, and unfortunately, there has become a pretty big waiting list for those games because people really want to play with Deborah, and of course she runs an incredible game. And so yeah, I know that she would love to find ways to clone herself, but that's not in the cards. So we'll see what happens in the future. All right, Trevco613. Why another 5e game when you're busy building out tools for other systems? Because this is a good question, and you almost got me on something. Because the way I will answer this question is, at Demiplane, we are interested in providing great digital support for all games. And the way that we are building this platform, there is going to be a mechanism and a path for people being able to create support for all games. And I certainly, the way that I'll leave this is, as I have started using what we have for Pathfinder Nexus, as I have started dreaming about what's going to exist for World of Darkness Nexus, or Free League Nexus, or all the others that we haven't talked about yet. As I start thinking about all of those things, it's terribly exciting to me to think about that. I would want this kind of digital support for all of the games that I play, and I play 5e. And so we'll see how that goes in the future. But yeah, 5e is a game that we all love and we all play. And so yeah, it's we're very excited about this show, and we're excited about what the future holds for Demiplane and our Nexus platform. Anchor 89, will character management track and apply conditions? That is the intent, yes. And so there will likely be two different layers of this. So the initial way that we are going to present the character sheet is, you will be able to track whether you have a condition or not, but temporary effects will not be necessarily enforced or reflected. It won't dynamically change things, but you will know that you have a certain condition, and you will be able to very quickly and easily see what that condition is doing to you. Now, in a former life, we were, unfortunately never able to get to temporary effects and what the impact those would have on your character in a dynamic state. But what I can tell you is, as we are moving forward with our game engine, we are very excited about the flexibility that this engine includes within it. And temporary effects are more of a next phase pass instead of a several years down the road pass. So it might not include that dynamic changing. So it might not include the ability for you to activate rage as an action and see differences on your character sheet from the very beginning, but pretty quickly it will. And so we're very excited about that. But yeah, to answer the question more succinctly, you will be able to track and apply conditions, and those conditions at some point in the early stages, probably post launch, but that'll be a thing that we start focusing on, is being able to possibly activate a dinosaur form, which is my favorite spell. And so as you are activating a dinosaur form, you can choose that you're going to be an ankylosaurus for that moment, because why wouldn't you be an ankylosaurus? And then that would have all of the aspects on the character sheet would be impacted by your new ankylosaurus form. So there you go. Good question. Neural answer: is encounter management something we can expect? Yes, you can expect it. Don't expect it too hard, because you're going to ask about it, and it's going to break our heart that you can't have it like immediately. But it is something that is absolutely on the roadmap. That is a post-launch thing. We see launch as having character management in a place that we are satisfied with launching is where the full launch of Pathfinder Nexus will be. But encounter management is absolutely something that is in the pipeline. Chainville, will there be a Pathfinder Nexus iOS Android app? If so, will it launch with phase 3 of the beta? Very good question. We intend to support mobile and mobile devices for an absolute certainty. Now, whether that is going to be a native app or not, those are things that we're making decisions on right now. And as far as will it launch with phase 3 of the beta, probably not. Looking at that, there is a potential chance, because again, we're locking down some of those details. We are focused on making sure that we provide the best experience that we possibly can that will work on any of those devices. And every day that we're alive on this planet, mobile browsers are getting better and better and better. And I have also lived through some of the challenges of trying to maintain parity with a native app, and seeing some of the pitfalls that come from that. And so those are all things that we're taking into consideration, and we're going to make the decisions that provide the best support for people playing these games out there. And so again, a little bit nebulous there, but it is something that we're actively talking about. And I am very confident in the team. We've got a great technology team, very confident that we're going to make some good decisions for how that's going to go forward. Creative Burst: will there be a limit on characters like on a site you worked for in a former life? There will be some character limits. I think that you will be very pleased when you see what that looks like. So yeah, we are we have to put some of those limitations in place, the way that our license works with various publishers. But yeah, there will be some limits. But the thing I can tell you is you will certainly be able to play the games that you enjoy without artificially hitting any kind of paywall. And then let's see, Sharkan24, Adam, that portal for Deb's game is now closed, and I believe it depends on the time she has available. All right, thanks for that update. Not a question, but a helpful update. So that portal is probably closed because of the overwhelming demand. So So we had a lot of people signing up, a lot of people on that waiting list. And if Deborah decides to run more of that in the future, she's going to let everybody know, and we'll help her let it know about that. So Bergertron 2000, Adam, it is pronounced Ankylosaurus. That is not how I say it. And so here's the deal. I used to watch Star Wars, and people say Han, Han. They're all over the place, right? I mean, Lando says Han all the time, and nobody was going around correcting, Lando when he was saying Han. And it's like, no, it's actually Han. I appreciate it, and I definitely appreciate the smiley there. But I'm going to say Ankylosaurus, at least for now, because that is what I'm used to since I was 5 years old, drawing all those ankylosauruses that I drew in kindergarten. So there you go. All right, that is it for the questions, and we're 1 minute over. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me this week. Very excited about Children of Éarte debuting on March the 15th. I have seen the characters that are coming together with this incredible cast. I can't wait to see what happens. Fairy tales for grown-ups is the tagline that we've all been told there, and so really looking forward to it, and looking forward to everything else that we have going on with Pathfinder Nexus Early Access. We will keep you posted in the next several days over what's happening with primers, because they are impending. They are coming very soon, and can't wait to get them out to everyone. Talk to you next week. Later, Gators.